In the late 1800s and early 1900s, there was a sport that was a fairly new pastime and found itself in the Dark Ages. The sport was simple, dull, plain, and lacking a spark. The middle of the 20th century would completely change the sport as a 17-year-old kid emerged from the favelas of Brazil, ascending to the throne and forever revolutionizing the sport we now know and love, the beautiful game, football. If we were to simplify the sport of football, we can break it down into two major time frames. The first one being BP, before Pele, and the second one, AP, after Pele. As fate would have it, Pele would be born in 1940 and rise to stardom at the 1958 FIFA World Cup in the middle of the century. Einstein came up with the formula that revolutionized our modern world that we live in. Pele did the same with football. Einstein is often credited for discovering the formula that changed science forever and is now used as the base and core foundation of all the inventions and innovations in technology and science today. It is the world's most famous equation, E equals mc squared. The world was a completely different place before Einstein discovered his theory of relativity and revolutionized our understanding of space, time, gravity, technology, and GPS navigation. Similarly, Pele's impactful contribution to the sport has absolutely changed the global reality that we live in. He added complex thinking and skill, magic and entertainment, rhythm and flair, and made the sport globally marketable for the first time in its history. Pele cannot just be viewed as merely a footballer, but an innovator and an inventor. Before Pele, football was a pastime that was played by factory workers, miners, and construction workers. It was the working man's sport, and there was not much money that players made, if any at all. After Pele, the sport completely took off. All the biggest sponsors in the world began paying exorbitant amounts of money in order for them to be part of a sport that had billions and billions of eyes on it. Pele was at the forefront of this movement. In simple terms, Pele was doing things that people and players were seeing for the first time in their lives. He made football entertaining and exciting. Defenders and goalkeepers had no idea how to react to such a player. Remember, there was no previous example for them to go off of before Pele. I believe Pele can be classified in a group with some of the most iconic inventors and conquerors in world history, definitely in modern history. These people not only changed the world, but their direct influences can be seen all around us in our daily lives today. They have shaped our current reality. For example, Pele was to football what Steve Jobs was to the cell phone. Before Jobs, we used cell phones. After Jobs created the first iPhone, the whole world now uses smartphones, and a regular cell phone is now viewed as an archaic piece of technology. Jobs and Pele have conquered the world's attention and influenced multiple generations through their innovations and contributions. They have changed modern daily life. If you guys want me to do a video on some of the world changes, just let me know in the comments and I'll make some and post them on my second channel, Chronicles of Raf. where I do more in-depth and thought-provoking videos that are not about football and entertainment. Just let me know, and if enough of you request, I'll make it happen for you guys. Pele popularized the sport to a global audience, like how many of the other greats and icons did with their respective sports. When you ask someone who has no idea about these sports and does not watch them, the first names that will come to mind to them are these guys. Pele is in this class. Pele heavily assisted in football no longer just being viewed as a pastime and a sport, but it is now used as a tool that is used for many things like stopping wars, political influence, controlling populations, and bringing people together for a greater cause. It is no coincidence as to why football is the most popular sport in the world by miles compared to the other sports. This would not be possible without a figure like Pele. At this point, football is more than just a game, but a crucial part of the global social fabric of societies all over the planet. What I think many people miss, forget, or do not acknowledge is the importance of Pele in breaking barriers of race, class, and what is achievable, especially to Black people. We need to remind ourselves that the world Pele existed in was a completely different world to the one we live in now. Racial segregation and racism were rampant, and it was an accepted way of life. The popular ideas and beliefs of the times were that Black people were not intelligent, were less than human, and were not capable of achieving greatness and success, especially against white opposition and competition. Pele's meteoric rise also coincided with the rise of television, and especially television in color. The 1970 World Cup was the first World Cup in color, and those bright yellow Brazilian jerseys were seen playing Joga Bonito all over the world, where Pele would famously win his historic third World Cup trophy in style. Pele absolutely shattered this way of thinking and proved to people that indeed Black people are intelligent, innovative, creative, and just as capable of achieving anything as every other race is. This helped shift the societal view of how Black people were looked at all over the world. He globalized the sport. As we have discovered, Pele has had an enormous influence on football becoming one of the most profitable businesses in the world. He got people that were uninterested in the game to start watching, and the best example of this is when he joined the New York Cosmos in America for a lucrative deal of $1.4 million in 1975. He popularized football, or soccer, all over the world, but especially in America, and it is now common to see some of the greats playing football in America. This level of contract was unseen and unheard of at the time, and since then, these huge sporting contracts have been normalized. The best footballers in the world get paid enormous amounts of money now for their services, and this phenomenon can be credited to Pele for opening the door. Most recently, we have seen Cristiano Ronaldo get signed for an astronomical amount of $200 million a year, and this would not be possible without Pele. Before Pele, football was just a game. Pele added beauty to the sport by incorporating ginga. Ginga is defined as an almost indefinable, mystical quality of movement and attitude possessed by Brazilians and evident in everything they do. The way they walk, talk, dance, and approach everything in their lives. The ginga, literally rocking back and forth to swing, is the fundamental movement in capoeira. Capoeira is a Brazilian martial art disguised as a dance and performed to musical instruments and traditional Brazilian songs. It is comprised of specific offensive and defensive movements, and unlike in any other martial arts, the participant is constantly in motion because of the basic movement, the ginga. By combining skill, flair, rhythm, entertainment, and adding thought, he was able to turn football into a thinking man's game, as opposed to just kicking a ball in the back of the net. He added layers and dimensions to the sport that did not exist before, which we consider a normal and standard part of the game today. Joga bonito translates to the beautiful game in Brazilian Portuguese. Pele was the first person to popularize this phrase that we now know football as. Joga bonito is the style that is associated with the best of Brazilian footballers, and seeing their skills, flair, and entertainment is why I fell in love with the sport. My favorite player of all time is Ronaldinho, and he's the reason why I love the beautiful game so much. Without Pele, there would be no Ronaldinho, so I am very grateful for Pele's massive contribution to changing lives all over the planet and pushing things forward. Obrigado, King. Thank you for everything. Thank you for giving us the beautiful game. Thank you so much, guys, for watching the video. I hope you enjoyed it a lot. Please make sure, if you did enjoy the video, to leave a like, comments, get in the comments and let's interact. Share if you want to, and make sure you subscribe if you have enjoyed this video, you've enjoyed the content on the channel, and you want to help the channel to grow here at Central Mania, guys. Thank you so much. I appreciate the support. I love the community that we're growing here. The Central Force is in full force. I love it, and we continue to grow. So just thank you very much once again.